Hi everyone, so we are going to be getting into quadratic word problems, okay? I know I had to write this in my own handwriting because my printer is out of ink, but it's okay. Let's just go ahead and get into it, okay? Same stuff, just my handwriting, all right? Okay, so let's always start by reading the problem, okay? And annotating if necessary. So, a ball is thrown into the air with an initial upward velocity of 48 feet per second. Its height h in feet after t seconds is given by the function h of t equals negative 16 t squared plus 48 t plus 4. Okay, so just kind of make yourself, so they haven't actually asked a question yet, but just you know that there is a ball. A ball is being thrown into the air. So we know that if it's being thrown, it goes up and then it comes back down somewhere, somehow. A ball is being thrown, okay? Another very important aspect is the actual equation itself. Always have the equation in mind, okay? So we know that this, as they told us, is the height per the t, which is t seconds, and t is time, okay? Okay, so really this is like your height per your time, okay? And, if you were to look at this, this would have been like, your y, and then your t's could have been, x's, 16 times x squared plus 48x plus 4. Okay, so you have your height, and then all of your x's are the times, okay? So that's just another way of looking at it. So h of t is also y, t's are also x's, okay? So I just kind of want to point that out, all right? Now, let's get into the actual question. So number 1, what height will the ball be when 2 seconds have passed? Okay, so what are they asking us? What height? Okay, so what height, or how high, like what height will the ball be when 2 seconds have passed? 2 seconds. Seconds is time. Time in this problem is t, and t we know is 2. So what we are going to be doing here is we know we're going to be taking our equation, and let's just go ahead and write that down. So h of t equals negative 16 t squared plus 48 t plus 4. So if they tell us t equals 2, what do you think we're going to do? A t is here, a t is here, t is 2. So we are going to actually be plugging that 2 in here, and we're going to be plugging that 2 in here as well. Okay, so let's just rewrite it, and we're going to leave the little blank. So h of t equals negative 16 times blank plus 48 times blank plus 4. So we know this would have been a t and this is a t, and they tell us t is 2. So we're going to go ahead and write 2 in the blank and a 2 here. And let's go ahead and put it into the calculator. Okay, into the calculator. I'm going to turn it on. Just ignore this. This is my calculator. And okay, so negative 16 times 2 squared plus 48 times 2 plus 4. Okay, now you see I have the parentheses in. I make it look exactly like it. I've got a negative sign in front of my 16. You keep it to look just like this in your calculator, and then hit enter. And there you have it. So your h of t, or your height, is 36 feet. Okay, so let's write that as a complete sentence. Okay, so we know time is seconds. So in 2 seconds, the ball, because we're keeping it in context, we're talking about the ball is 36 feet high. Okay, period. Okay, and that would be your answer. So that's how high the ball is, 36 feet, after 2 seconds. Okay, all you're doing is just plugging it in. Our second question In in how many seconds will the ball reach its maximum height? Okay, so in how many seconds will the ball reach its maximum height? So it is asking how many seconds. How many seconds is time? Time is your t. And when we're looking at the problem, and you remember from the past video, I know that there are two different things that mean what they mean. So time is your x value and height is your y value. Remember that from the last video? X is your time, height is your y. I just kind of know that, okay? And you kind of have to know time, days, second, minutes is going to be the x value, and how high or low something is going to be your y value. So when we know we're looking for the time, we need to go ahead and find your axis of symmetry. So we have to memorize the formula x equals -1 times b over 2 times a. Okay, you just have to memorize this formula. I had to memorize it. You just have to know it. Just kind of is what it is. So we need to figure out what our b and our a are, and we do that by looking back at the original equation and identifying a, b, and c. So coming down here, I'm going to rewrite the equation. So h of t equals -16t squared plus 48t plus 4. Our a, b, c. Our a is -16, b is 48, c is 4. So now we're just going to fill it in here. So x is -1 times whatever b is equals 2 over whatever a is. And we identified b as 48 and a as -16. Okay, so we know that -1 times 48 is -48. And if you can't do math in your head, that's okay. Use your calculator. So 2 times -16 is going to be -32. Okay, and if we want to do -48 divided by -32, we go -48 divided by -32, enter, equals 1.5, positive, because negative and negative, dividing makes a positive. 1.5 what? If it's for x, and x is time is seconds, 1.5 seconds. So we have just found out our time. So let's write this in as a complete sentence, okay? So I'll write it in a different color. The ball, because we're talking about the ball, reaches its maximum height in 1.5 seconds. That's an S. 1.5 seconds. All right, great. We found it. Okay, how many seconds? 1.5 seconds. Okay, let's look at the third question. What is the ball's maximum height? Okay, so now we know it reaches it in 1.5 seconds. And what's the ball's maximum height? Okay, let's see. So we know that the equation is h of t equals -16t squared plus 48t plus 4. Okay, what's the maximum height? Maximum height is going to be our y or our h of t, right? And we know that it reaches its maximum height in 1.5 seconds. So we need to use this number. We're actually going to be taking this number and putting it into t and to t. Right there and right there. So the maximum height, because we're looking at, we're trying to figure out what this is, so we're going to have to plug that in to figure out this piece. So let's go ahead and rewrite our equation, put our blanks in just like we did the first question, right? So h of t equals negative 16 times whatever t is going to be, which is up here, squared, plus 48 times your t, whatever's up here, plus 4. Okay? We know it's 1.5 seconds because that's when it reached, its maximum height. So we're going to say, what is the maximum height? So at 1.5 seconds, which we figured it out, we're going to put it in. And we're going to figure it out. So now I'm going to take my calculator and put this equation into my calculator, okay? So I'm going to clear this out. So we're going to say negative 16 times 1.5 squared, okay, just like I have, plus 48 times 1.5 plus 4. Making sure, always check your calculator so you get the right answer. Plus, yep, with the parentheses, yes, we have it all in the calculator. Hit enter, and the answer is 40. Okay, so what is the ball's maximum height? We're going to answer the question in a complete sentence. The ball's maximum height is 40 feet. And there you go.